Mankind collectively agreeing something is an illness does not make it an illness. Many collectively agreeing upon what to call any one item is not definitive of understanding, does not determine a truth simply from a name. When an individual can rise up and realize their own power, they will realize the extent of the collective and how plugging into understandings works, and they will realize that collective belief is not fact. Collective faith does not amount to truth. The world as we interpret it is unimportant. What is important is how we ourselves interpret contentment. Not where do you see yourself in 10 years, but where do you live now? Is your reality a box and bigger boxes, or wide open spaces flowing with thought and well wishes? For life is not what we believe collectively. Rather, our existence will encompass imagination, abilities to construct our view. Do you know sometimes I get a spirit coming to call, and the view is so much different, usually on the downside of things, that it is unreal anybody can live with those kind of understandings. Not so much the sense of alone as the stone-cold realities of differentiation setting apart with all else on the other side of the fence, no matter what that fence is, opposed and swimming in fear. These I cannot take with me, for they have a we create our realities, we construct meaning, and sacrifice faith. And these have a loss, a true and fundamental conclusion that God is cruel and hateful, or that the earth is ruled by Satan and evil, a persecution ideology I can't teach, get around. They try to take over, and I have to say, fuck you. Weep while waving goodbye. Tied to a bed or locked up in a cell, I give up for them and recycle the base of what that essence considered. Pull it back to a part of the whole, to sleep and find God, to die and go home. Mankind collectively agreeing something is an illness does not make it an illness. Everything built, what we see, think, feel, we find the path away from despair, for that is one conclusion, only one. Collective considerations are that we shouldn't care. We should accept what we are presented, how we are presented. Original sight is not collective strangeness. When you believe saying a prayer over your food makes you well, that's considered normal. But if you believe speaking an incantation over substances will change physical properties, make a medicine out of food to make you well, that's not original, that's picked up. Where are the original thoughts? We have so few real and individual constructs on reality. Where are they? Are you afraid? Are you that sure the collective is right? Because I can tell you right now that in about 62% of the instances, they are not. But does it matter? It does when that same collective pulls their reality out from under you. When that same collective administers different understandings to different levels according to class, wrapping our minds around things. The only time it doesn't matter is when I didn't care, and you said you believed. All I have is the blood in my veins, and that's going to have to be enough. Mankind collectively agreeing something is an illness does not make it an illness. Understandings of well and sick is another language. People break collectively from the collective. They created new cultures and languages. Medicine is even one. And then they find similarities in that with religions and dictated meaning, all for the sake of breaking apart and staying apart. Some say God created the concept of Babylonian disruption. We won't even own up to that most fundamental responsibility, separating ourselves as a people on this planet. Come over to my group. You don't have to be responsible for anything. Nobody cares. Live life on a cloud. Drift away day out. And then you see them sitting in the rest home, falling asleep between verses of the old rugged cross. The old rugged cross. So I sing to the old rugged cross, where at last all my cares I laid down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. And you taste despair, emptiness, realization. Not that they wasted their lives, but they never found an answer. It's just bigger boxes and smaller boxes, like the Russian dolls inside each other. One level leading to another within the eternity of Narnia. God, that movie was depressing. Well, book first. I read the book. There is a destination, and the destination is to find your thought, the kernel of strength that means God is here. To take that and use it, because the world doesn't need more religions. It needs less splitting, more collective belief and communication, and less collective dictates and belief. Tonight, the spirit is my own. These days it mostly is. And the weariness goes through my bones to the depth of where reality sleeps. Good is not a contrast. It is holding and grasping what flavors your world most, a blend of want and gifting. A current that we can guide. We can guide this from point A to point 99 with a thought and a smile. Mankind collectively agreeing something is an illness does not make it an illness. Many collectively agreeing upon what to call any one item is not definitive of understanding, does not determine a truth simply from a name. When an individual can rise up and realize their own power, they will realize the extent of the collective and how plugging into understandings works, and they will realize that collective belief is not fact. Collective faith does not amount to truth. The world as we interpret it is unimportant. What is important is how we ourselves interpret contentment.